just listening for a moment. Birdies. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. So you got the Eiffel Tower. And when you stand in the center of the Eiffel Tower, you can transmit your thoughts telepathically. It's just a huge antenna. Like radio towers, they work on radio waves. You can get next to one and do the same thing. We are antenna. We're like bipolar antenna. We're like transceivers. Transmit, we receive information. But here's the thing, is that they got other towers like that. And so if it's built the same way, then it's going to have the same resonant vibrational frequency. You just have to amplify the thought. But we can do that without towers anyway. I can do it from me to you. So I can do it. You ever heard in the Bible it says, I think it's like Matthew verse 9, chapter 9, verse 4. And Christ goes in there, and Christ, we're not talking about just one person, just people who have come to wake up. I'll tell you about that in a moment, but it says that Christ read their thoughts. And it says that in the beginning, like even in the Old Testament, like the book of John is basically the book of Genesis. Everything's all the same story. It's about waking up. People think Jews are like a race of people. The Jew is just a way to express people who have been awoken. And there's several ways to say it. Like some people say Christ, the anointed one. Some people say Jew. They'd be like, what is your name? Moses says to God, and he says, I am. Like that's his name. I am that I am. Like say that into a mirror sometime. You're looking dead in your eyes, and you speak one of the names of the Lord, I am. I hope you're making the connection with this. That they're trying to tell you without telling you. It's taboo for us to say that you are God, that I am God. All of us are souls, pieces of the same soul of God. It's just when people start idolizing themselves that way, can they be responsible with that kind of power? Mostly no. In the Protocols of Zion, they had talked about, it's like the protocols of the meetings of the learned elders of Zion, they had talked about when man gets control, when man gets power, man abuses that power. If only a short period of time. And you can't hand control over to the mob, to the population of people who have not woken up, and expect them to uprise and just start helping each other and for it to work. It'll all cave in because we get greedy, you know. And if you have not woken up, you have not come to awakening, which they'll call it schizophrenic thinking. If you have not arced the left hand of Noah's Ark, Ark of the Covenant, and they say it in many different ways, it's all the same message. That Adam and Eve, they don't know each other. They don't speak to each other. But once you make that ark, then they know. And like when I say these things, I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I'm not like trying to act like I know it all. I don't. I fucking, in the beginning of every conversation, I don't know. And at the end, I don't fucking know because there's so much information. We usually don't catch up on this stuff till we look back on a conversation and go, oh dang. Like that's what they were talking about the whole time. It's like, I get that now, and you'll see things from a different light. But they don't talk to each other. They don't know each other. But once they do, you've arced the hemispheres for the system that's set out here, like the public program, when they program the public, to not believe in themselves. Because once we start believing ourselves, we realize how strong we are, and then we're not making money for the system and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with money. There's nothing wrong with having money. God made man made a monetary system. If you want to go out and make money. If that's what makes you happy, money can bring you things you can taste things that you couldn't taste for free, and et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to go off on a tangent just to come around full circle. The message in all of this is to find yourself and to come to awakening. I don't want to make this like a 20-minute video. Let me just break this down to you real quick. So Christ comes from the word Christos, meaning anointed one, referring to the chrism that I did in one of those TikTok videos I might have shown you already, where this oil, every time the moon is in our sun sign, just like the moon affects the tides of the ocean, this oil, we'll do that for a moment, this oil secretes from our claustrum, drops down the furnace, down our spine, which King Solomon talked about. And it drops down the spine to our root chakra. This is the genitals. No sexual gratification during this period. It's only like 2.5 to 3 days. And it's tough. I'm not saying that like it's nothing, dude. It's very tough to make it through this because of gluttony as it travels up through the spine. It gains electromagnetic frequency, right? This little chrism, this little oil, that's the baby Jesus. Because you got Adam and Eve, or Joseph and Mary. The virgin birth is the baby Jesus, the oil that drops through. So anyway, Jesus rises up, and this starts when we're in puberty. And it rises up through the sacral. Just pretend I'm showing you my spine. These are all battery points right here. And it's all nervous system. So if you destroy that oil, the nerves zap it. It's only at 2 hertz, about 2 or 4 hertz when it's down here. Rise up to the sacral. You're gonna want to think with your stomach. Think about like smoking weed or something. You go to buy something from the store, and you're thinking with your stomach, and you get home, you're like, dang, dude, I just spent $300. Well, nowadays I just spent $500, just to blow it all on snacks and stuff like that. Don't think with any of these energy systems. Don't let your heart attach to anybody. Find some solitude. I'm not saying you should isolate and not talk about your problems, but in this period, this is where we have to bear our cross. And I'll get to that right now. So as it travels up the spine, you're going to want to start doing breath work. The whole purpose of that is because the breath, that's a compression wave. It's a longitudinal wave. The lateral wave would be the electric wave. So this is the magnetic wave. What you're doing is, just breathe with me for a minute. Let it out like that. That's because we forgot how to breathe. If you notice, I didn't take another breath and I'm just sitting here talking. That's because when we lost, I still haven't breathed in yet. There's still plenty of air in there. So what we're doing in breath work is we're just breathing it and find that in your belly. So of course you can't eat a lot because your digestive system, while you're in this period, it's going to zap that. It's going to use all that and zap the oil. So when you compress like that, you're compressing little crystals. I want you to know that DMT, what people are like smoking to get and reach God, it gets made in your lungs. It gets made in your pineal gland. So when we compress these crystals, we start creating this little seed. Like the seed that grows this grass, the seed that grows these trees. We think that the seed might be the sperm or the eggs. It's that, and also this, like it says in the Bible in Holy Scripture, it says, lest a man spill his seed. It doesn't mean his as in a dude like with a penis. It just means mankind, human beings. They don't mean like male dominant or anything like that. The world is, it doesn't matter what you got. There's a divine balance to be found. And that's where we see Baphomet on that. It looks like a tarot card. He's at perfect balance. She's got breasts. When Drake and Lil Wayne did the motto, and he says, I'm up, tore down, I'm twisted, doorknob, referring, he's just saying that he's at perfect balance now. And I'm not saying that Lil Wayne even wrote that. There's a bigger script going on where we channel these things. Anyway, you're going to compress this seed, and as the oil rises up, the chrism rises up the spine, that seed meets the oil, and then it stops. It rests on the crux, the cross. Christ rests on the cross where it hangs for about 2.5 to 3 days. So it stays there while it gains electromagnetic frequency. And this is all in your spinal system. Think about it. It's all nerves. It's all organic wiring. So it's going to rise up the spine, up to your pineal gland, where it is crucified. It is magnified 1,000-fold. Now, John of Patmos from Revelation, he's talking about the 144,000 will be saved. Well, when Christ rests on the cross here, it's at 144 hertz. So as it comes up to here and it sinks into the pineal gland, that's the lotus flower. It's magnifying each little petal to 144,000 hertz cycles per second. And so he's not talking about like a population of people that are like that will be saved, like only 144,000 people out of the trillions of billions and quadrillions of people that have been built. Just those who come to awakening. That's all every story is in the Bible, and that's so that seed is now planted, grown, and it's germinating. So at the end of Revelation, he's no longer John of Patmos. He is, from Saul to Paul. John of Patmos becomes John the Anointed One. So that's what that whole message is about. And the message, it's so beautiful. They say it in all different ways, and it's all the same thing. Find yourself. Find God through yourself. Come to awaken and see what's going on in here. The Matrix is actually a pretty good video
to watch that.
you can be done. I love you. Thanks for doing that for me.